Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Mirror's Edge video walkthrough. This is the 7th mission. It is a Gridnode run. So, this level is a very interesting part of the game, in my opinion, because it's something that is a contended issue in the game. The game utilises a fast travel mechanic that has to be unlocked by doing the server room laser puzzles. This is a sequence where the running waypoint is disabled, so it doesn't tell you where to go, so you actually have to find your path here. And this is an example of what the game will play like if you choose to not activate that mode. So if you want the puzzle of pathfinding, you can find it by turning it off. Personally, that's not what I enjoy in these games. I like finding my own paths once I know where I'm meant to go. That's the fun part for me, but until then, I don't mind following the waypoint, so I have no issue with it. But in here, the waypoint will not work. The contention that I have is moving across the city once you've done it a few times is okay if you're interested in setting time trials and getting better and learning better lines and getting better flow, but when you get to a point where you just want to get to the next mission, you'll try and fast travel, and you can't because you have to have unlocked the server. And doing an arbitrary minigame, such as a puzzle tower like this, to unlock a fast travel point is nothing new. It's this obsession with the Far Cry design of do insert generic bullshit to get insert generic mechanic. And it's something that has been around for years now. But it disappoints me that you couldn't have at least fast travelled to the tower, and then you could have used it to fast travel to other towers, because I don't want to run across the entire city every time I go between missions. I appreciate that that's part of the game, but it falls in line with this notion that I have that everything that makes this game open world detracts from what's enjoyable about this game. It's a double-sided coin though. On one hand, you have a massive playground to create your own time trials, and that's going to be the lifeblood of this game, because the people who get into that are going to have hours of enjoyment. But for the person who just wants to get to the mission and has ran across the city a few times, it's tedious. It's really tedious, and if you have no interest in finding a tricky creative way to get through a zone, then you just want to get there. And it's a frustrating mechanic. It reminds me of the you have to be at a signpost in Witcher 3 to fast travel thing. It's one of those things that baffles me because all it does is make the player do something they don't want to do. And you might think, we're an entitled bunch of gamers these days, we should just accept it for what it is and, you know, learn to put up with it. And I agree that there is a lot of truth to that, and I do think that gamers are way too quick to complain and want to change things than actually learn to adapt and adjust to them. Because that's when we have things like the Trial of Archimedes getting patched because Adam Sessler had to give it to his buddy to beat because he couldn't do it on normal. Only thing that tells me is perhaps if you're reviewing a game, you should put in a little bit more effort and actually learn to play the game before you review it. But I'm not Adam Sessler, and apparently he's moving on from video games, even though I saw his fucking face all over E3 last night and I couldn't get rid of the damn asshole. So it's just this thing of changing things is great if it's one of those unanimous decisions, but nothing in gaming ever is. And this is probably a point that only annoys me. Everybody else loves running around the city. I think that the open world is very lacking. Outside of your first few journeys through it, it's kind of the same thing. And as much as I think there's a lot to be had here and there's a lot of fun that you can make for yourselves, it's that Minecraft syndrome of you have to like what the game is to do anything really with it, because at the end of the day, it's a mirror on your own creativity, and Mirror's Edge is like that in some ways. If you're the person who finds really creative ways to move across this city, this is the game for you. If you're the dude who wants to be told exactly where to go all the time, probably not going to have the same measure of fun as the other guy. And you need to be aware of this, because a lot of the reviews aren't really stressing some of the things that are important in this game and some of the principles that they push forward in it. And unfortunately, one of those principles is combat, and I haven't managed to discuss it yet, but just so you know, the combat's really, really bad, and the people defending it are the people who would have probably defended Hitler.